So far, we have identified the list and how to find our one thing, but how can we actually implement it? Think of life as an iceberg. At the very base, where no one can see it, is your purpose, what is important to you, and where you want to go. Set your priorities, or what you place greatest importance on in order to reach your purpose. And then productivity, actually doing those actions. And then there's profit, what you get from being productive, setting your priorities, and going towards your purpose. Many people think that money will bring them happiness, or they push off happiness saying that they need a certain amount of money to be happy. Well, that's not true. Life is about creating yourself. You have to enjoy the journey for happiness, not push it off until you reach your destination. Dr. Martin Seligman believes there are 5 factors that contribute to success: positive emotion and pleasure, achievement, relationships, engagement, and meaning. He found that engagement and meaning were the most important parts. This makes sense because becoming more engaged in our daily lives through finding meaning are the core parts of your purpose. You must make your purpose your priority in order to be happy. Living with your purpose has many side effects as well. It's the path, not the destination. Purpose sets priority. Your priorities are what you place greatest importance on. It sets the direction that you need to go in order to fulfill your purpose. The steps you need to take in order to go from the first domino to toppling the last. A great way to set your priorities is by goal setting to the now. It allows you to determine what you should be doing now in order to reach your goals in the future. The reason most people never succeed at their most audacious goals is because they don't connect their todays to their tomorrows. This is what goal setting to the now does. This is focused on the process more than the result. In 3 separate studies, psychologists observed 262 students. Those who visualized the process performed better than those that focused on the result across the chart. This is because those that visualize the process focused on the steps needed to get there as opposed to just focusing on the result. Process-based action is the best way to ensure your success. Priority sets your productivity. How do you manage your time? Most answer something like a calendar or a at-a-glance planner, but this describes the format, not the function. What is the function of your time management system? Having an extraordinary life comes from getting the most out of what you do when it matters. You need to block off your time so you can work productively and then guard this time against anyone who wants to get you off your path to achieving your goals. The best way to organize your time is to first plan your time off. This makes it so your work time is organized around your downtime instead of the other way around. Next, plan when you're going to work on your one thing. It should approximately be 4 hours a day, the reasons being discussed later in this video. Take time to plan. This gives you time to review your goals and identify the steps you need to achieve them. Another point about this is that there are 2 types of time: clock time and event time. Your life is around clock or around events. Making sure your goals get done is working by event time. Now, a great way to make sure you stay productive was popularized by the comedian Jerry Seinfeld. It's called the chain, and the basic premise is to make an X in your planner every time you do something, creating a chain. The system focuses you on the goal and not breaking the chain. You must commit yourself to your one thing through following the path to mastery, being purposeful, as well as holding yourself accountable for your life. You have to have the mindset of someone seeking mastery. Look at it as the journey and not the destination, and your success becomes accessible and attainable. In 1993, psychologist K. Anders Ericsson published The Role of Deliberate Practice in the Acquisition of Expert Performance. In it, he describes the 10,000 rule, the number of hours needed to reach mastery. Now, assuming you work on something 250 days a year, it'll take 4 hours a day for 10 years to reach mastery. Seem familiar? That's why you need to work on your one thing for 4 hours a day. There are 2 approaches, the natural and the purposeful one. Successful people are always purposeful, and that means they always look for the best solution and do not accept average or natural results. There is always a way to break through the natural ceiling of achievement. People who take the natural approach can never break through the ceiling because they do not change their approach. They are all natural and thus become disappointed when things do not work out. They then sink further into resignation, accept the results in the greener pasture stage until they just repeat the cycle. Purposeful people focus on their one thing, find new models and systems, and finally break through a natural barrier by developing themselves. Being purposeful is more about developing yourself than the actual approach. You have to be accountable for your life and take responsibility and not be a victim. Because when life just happens to you, you are a victim and cannot be the author of your life. Be accountable and take ownership over your goals. Accountable people are oriented towards the results, but base their actions on the process of taking ownership and focusing on the next step. A great way to hold yourself accountable is to find a partner or coach to hold you to your word, who pushes you along and feeds your flame when it is not burning bright. But you have to have that flame. In order to successfully implement the one thing, you must stay wary of 4 thieves that could rob you on your journey. The inability to say no, fear of chaos, poor health habits, and a bad environment for your success. When you say yes to something, you must understand what you are saying no to. Saying yes to take on more things at work could also be saying no to dinner with the family. The art of saying yes is also the art of saying no. Steve Jobs is the perfect example. When he returned to Apple in 1997, the company had 350 products. By 1999, it had 10. He focused Apple and thus began its skyrocket to be one of the biggest companies in the world. Saying no isn't a recipe to be a recluse or to forfeiting success, but rather it gives you control and flexibility. You have to realize that focusing on one thing has a consequence that other things simply won't get done. Striving for greatness is always going to create chaos. That is what makes success so valuable and why it is so hard to get. But most importantly, you can't let the chaos make you a victim. You can't let family obligations or your job get in your way. You can't be a victim of your circumstances. That breaks the accountability commitment. And when you argue for your limitations, you get to keep them. Remember that. It's your choice. Too many people sacrifice their health for some future reward. Big results require big energy, and you can't provide that if you have poor health habits. Stop borrowing from your future. Many advocate for meditation, eating right, as well as getting enough sleep. When you connect proper sleep with your success, you will have enough motivation to get up and go to sleep when you need to. Spend time with loved ones. Successful people thrive on the emotional energy. And take some time to set goals and make plans, because it's only when you make time for extraordinary results that they get a chance to show up. And the last thief is having a bad environment. You have to think of your one thing as a pyramid. A structure always needs a solid base, and your environment makes that base, with the people you surround yourself with as well as the physical aspects of it. When your environment and your one thing are aligned, you will have the energy to live a meaningful life on the path to success. When you know the road to success, that is when you consistently get there. There's an old Cherokee story between a Cherokee chief and his grandson. The chief says that there are 2 wolves fighting a battle inside everyone. One is fear and the other is faith. Which one wins, the grandson asks. The one you feed. Do you have the faith to pursue your one thing and transform your life? That is the most important question you need to ask. This is MTI. Make sure you get to watch part 1 if you haven't. Check out The One Thing, it is an amazing book. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe, give it a thumbs up, as well as share it.